Hello everyone, and welcome to my video where I will be delving further into Fred Rogers' influence on America, as well as some of my favorite clips of Mr. Rogers that show how caring and compassionate he was. This will also give you all a clear understanding of how Rogers spoke and who he was as a person. Without further ado, let's start with our first clip. We'll start with a funny clip of a gorilla named Coco and Mr. Rogers. Rogers and his producers brought a lot of animals onto the show to help children empathize with them and show that they need to be taken care of. He cared about the preservation and care of wild animals. Coco also loved meeting Mr. Rogers, and Rogers felt the same. This shows that Rogers made humans and animals feel special and loved. Our next clip is of Fred Rogers and the character Officer Clemens, played by Francois Clemens. Rogers asked Clemens to play the neighborhood policeman in 1968, which is a significant casting choice for a multitude of reasons. It mostly came down to the fact of Clemens being one of the first African Americans on TV, as well as gay. People around the country also didn't want black people to swim with whites, and Rogers thought it was absolutely ridiculous. Here we can see an event that occurred when a white man named James Brock poured acid into a swimming pool of black people. Fred Rogers wanted to change the way that black people were viewed by the nation at that time. As far as Clemens' sexuality was concerned, Rogers did ask that he remain closeted as he was concerned about backlash from conservative viewers. Clemens agreed and even married a woman. All of this did not hinder Clemens and Rogers' relationship, however. Rogers even picked up Clemens after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated out of concern for his safety. Later on, Rogers openly welcomed gay guests on his show. This shows Fred Rogers' compassion and care for those not socially accepted at that time. The next two people I'm going to talk about are people that Rogers had an immense impact on. The first of those being Jeff Erlanger. Mr. Rogers brought him onto the show when he was just 10 years old. When he was 7 months old, Erlanger was diagnosed with a spinal tumor. Surgery was used to remove it, but he ended up not being able to walk. He got his first wheelchair when he was 4 years old. Growing up, Erlanger had always considered Rogers a television friend. Jeff's parents wrote to the producers that he was going to have a spinal fusion and that they didn't know if he would survive. Rogers brought him onto the show to talk and sing a song. Almost 20 years later, Erlanger was the surprise guest who introduced Rogers when he was inducted into the TV Hall of Fame of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences in 1999. Here's a special speech by Erlanger that touched the hearts of everyone in that audience that day.
You know, when you tell people that it's you I like, we know that you really mean it. And tonight, I want to let you know that on behalf of millions of children and grown-ups, it is you that I like.
They both ended up getting a standing ovation, and this goes to show Rogers' impact on people, as well as making sure that everyone knew that they were special and mattered no matter what. Next, we have Beth Usher. As a child, Usher suffered from a rare and debilitating disease which was destroying her brain cells and causing up to 100 seizures a day. When she was 5, she had to have half of her brain removed. Watching Mr. Rogers brought her a sense of comfort, which she reflects on in this next clip.
Something about his voice allowed my body to relax, and I would not have one seizure the entire half hour his show was on the TV screen.
After her operation, she fell into a weeks-long coma. Rogers prayed with Usher's mother over the phone and even flew from Pittsburgh to Baltimore to go visit her. Although she was unconscious at the time, she said to the New York Post in 2018, "I felt like I was touched by an angel when I met Mr. Rogers." This next clip is from when Rogers appeared in front of Congress on May 1st, 1969 to request funding for PBS.
This is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days. I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
This shows his dedication to children as well as mental health, which was an unusual topic to discuss in the late 60s. I also think it's important to notice how he talks slowly and with such consideration. This was how he always spoke to everyone. This tone and his choice of words had a significant impact on the decision that John Pastore, the senator seen in the clip, made. This also just shows who Fred Rogers was. He had an effect on people that was undeniable. To conclude this video, I'd like to share his outro song as well as a statement that I think a lot of us need to hear in this day and age. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning about Fred Rogers and his influence on who we are as Americans.
New day, it's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is new, and I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. You always make each day such a special day. You know how. By just your being yourself. I'll be back next time. Bye-bye. There are many ways of saying who you are and how you feel. Ways that can be so helpful. Ways that don't hurt yourself or anybody else. You know, that's how you can tell when you're grown up inside. You're sure that what you're planning and doing are things that can be a real help to you and your neighbor. I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.